Moving on, our fifth finalist is Greedy Game, an in-content native advertisement platform that is making in-gaming advertisements less intrusive. And to know just how, please welcome on stage Arpit Jain from Greedy Game. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Arpit. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello everyone, is the voice clear? Yeah. Hello everyone, I am Arpit Jain, co-founder and CEO of Greedy Game. We are developing a platform that makes ads that people love. So there are two questions in your mind, why and how, right? So I'll start with the why. So if you are playing games today on your mobile device, after some time, you will start seeing these kind of banner ads on the bottom of the screen. These keep on changing after every 30 seconds, and they're kind of annoying. But this is not as annoying as an interstitial ad could be. So it takes complete screen from you. It's a pop-up ad. It is not user-initiated, and the user is really annoyed. But why do you think it is there? It's there because the developer of the game is making money through this. And in fact, more than 70% of all game developers have a core revenue model through advertising. So it's very important that we have to show ads in a way that user enjoys the game. So what we've come up with is a platform where we actually embed the advertising within the gameplay by using the game assets, which could be power-ups, which could be billboards, and we replace these assets with branded assets. And this all of this is done on the fly. So gaming itself is the biggest category of apps on the Play Store. The engagement time of games is usually 2 or 3 times higher than any other engaging category. On a daily basis, you have more than 25 billion minutes of gameplay that is played globally. This is a small video of few of our live implementations across different games. We have an SDK, which a game developer could integrate in his game while making a game or updating a game on the App Store. It gives us the access to these assets within the game, which we can change with branded assets on the fly. So it could be a power-up, it could be a billboard, it could be something that is on the background, or it could be something which is active part of the game. What you would have noticed in the video is essentially 2 things. Yeah, we'll go back to the slides. Yeah, so I'll now talk about how we are actually able to achieve it. So there are 2 core parts of the technology. One is that we are able to achieve this dynamically based on the user attributes. So that means in the same spots, we can have different ads based on where the user is playing the game, or what device the user is playing the game on, or what is the objective of the advertiser. Secondly, what we apply is image processing technology to take in creatives from the brand and actually resize them based on every different game's requirements and render it within the game experience. So this helps us in scaling it to multiple games in a native fashion where every game would have a different size requirements. We are working with more than 35 game publishing companies. Most of them are Indian companies, and few companies now are adapting our models from Europe, from Southeast Asia. We are currently showing ads to about 40 million active users in a month. We are advertised to more than 75 advertisers, and we have more than 100 games which are integrated with our SDK and are live in the market. These are few of the top publishers that work with. So you would see most of the Indian names on the left side: Nazara, Octro, Games to Win, and few companies on the right side: Madfinger Games, Tiny Lab Production. These are Europe-based companies. On the advertiser front, what we are trying to work is, and what our value proposition is more about brand awareness and visibility. Hence, you would see a lot of brand advertisers and traditional advertisers who are going for this kind of a model. And apart from direct advertisers, we also work with agencies very closely, where they would sell our model to their own different brands. Our selling model, so we have 3-way model of selling. One is the direct sales, where our own sales teams go out to the brands or agencies and sell our platform. We have a sales team in India. We have partnerships in Southeast Asia. Then we have reseller partnerships where there could be other agencies or other ad platforms that resell our inventory in their respective geographies. Because every game most of the games are global games. They would have inventories on every part. And then we recently started working with programmatic native exchanges. in what we have, we do not need is a direct salesperson. We could pick up ads from programmatic exchanges like AdMob, like Mopub, and convert them into native advertising on the fly and show it in our games. So through this, we are able to actually also fill a lot of our global inventories that were earlier not filled through the direct efforts. So this is the core team members. Me and Arink were the people who started it. So started by people who had more experience in playing games than actually making companies. But now, as we are going forward, we are getting more experience on board. So Ankit has just joined us. He has worked for InMovie for like 8.5 years, and he's led their sales team in different geographies globally.
All right, thank you, Alpit. Your time's up. Questions, jury?
Can you share a little bit about your metrics and progress?
Sorry?
Can you share a little bit about what metrics you all have achieved so far?
Yes, so I mean in terms of revenue, right now we are clocking about $50,000 a month. In terms of metrics, 40 million users, on a monthly basis. And the increase in growth, user growth is actually twofold. One is a lot of publishers are now organically adding to the system. They understand the value, and then now they're adding their other games to the platform. And also we are scaling our efforts in few geographies like Southeast Asia.
And in terms of eCPMs and effectiveness, how do you compare to sort of the more traditional ad forms?
Yeah, so if you look at native advertising, as it is, it has like 3 to 4 times higher CTRs than traditional banner ads. eCPMs are roughly 3 to 4 times than what a traditional banner can give you. Also, our method is slightly different from a regular eCPM method. What we give is a complete session of branding to a brand. So whether it be a power-up, whether it be a background, it would have the same advertiser. So we sell the complete session to an advertiser, so it has a slight premiumness to the pricing. So our eCPM pricings are roughly about $3 to $4, whereas on a banner you would see it roughly about $0.3 to $0.5.
And how many ad impressions so far, or on a monthly basis?
So on a monthly basis, about 40 million users scale to about 200 million ad impressions in a month.
200 million.
Yes.
Okay. Now, just a couple questions there.
Yes.
First, in terms of how it works, what you just described, I want to understand how much of it is purely algorithmic. So does a human being sit and look at the games and say, these are the interesting spots where ads can be inserted, and then an algorithm takes over in terms of doing that? Or is it something else?
So yes, when you are adding your game or you're adding our SDK to your game, you are the person who will make the choice of the spots which are available in your game. So at the time of integration, it's a game developer's choice to what spots are available. And then once we have the spots, everything is taken care by the algorithm.
Okay, and going forward, what's going to be your primary distribution model? Is it programmatic buying of ads or something else?
Yes, so I mean, programmatic buying right now is restricted to very few Western countries where programmatic is getting sold at. In India, still, I would say 90% of advertising is sold through manual RO-based selling. So yes, going forward, it would be more towards programmatic and reseller kind of partnerships. We would want to create a DIY platform which would make it easy for anyone to sell, advertising.
Got it. And lastly, outside of India, say in the US, who's doing something like this?
Yes, it's a very interesting question, but we have not found a lot of good answers to it. So there are few companies who are doing, somewhat similar stuff on console games or on VR. But on mobile games, we haven't found a very good solid player who is working on this. And that's also because of the feedback that we've got from the international publishers. So even the international publishers who are using us, they also want to do this from a long time, but they've not found a good, steady platform which is catering to it.
Hi, is there enough defense against the traditional ad tech players like InMovie? I mean, is there sufficient technological defense here built in?
Yes, so I would say the technological defense is a roughly 6-month advantage, which is more about the image serving part. Apart from that, the ad serving is pretty similar to how you serve ads, as a regular ad network. But apart from that, the advantage is now that we've captured this niche, so we are growing our network among gaming, ecosystems. So now more and more games are recognizing us as a go-to ad platform when they're looking at monetization. So we would want to expand on that and create that kind of advantage also, like apart from the technical advantage that is there.
Any more questions, jury? We have, I think, an audience question.
So our audience question is actually very much in line with something you kind of just talked about, but we'll still go ahead and ask it. Sure. For greedy games, how will you compete with VR tech ad provider, which is actively growing? I know you kind of hinted on it, so if you could just elaborate on, if you do consider them as your competitor, what would
So
you do?
there is a specific value addition that we provide over the traditional, ad tech companies. If you would see, most of our advertisers are traditional advertisers who are not actually spending a lot of money on mobile or digital advertising on traditional media, because that is not the way in which they want to show ads to. What we would be focusing, and even in the other products that we would be going forward, would be visibility and awareness, right? These are the attributes which traditional players are looking at, and that is what we think would bring the traditional ad dollars to the mobile ecosystem.
All right, thank you, Arpit. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. We are halfway through our presentations. Our next set of finalists will present in a short while.